Let's begin with security matters where gunmen from Nigeria have killed at least 5 Cameroonian soldiers and wounded several others in the village of Bakinjo on Cameroon's border with Nigeria. It is the latest in a series of attempts to seize territory in the area. Aka Tiyoga, a member of parliament for the district of Akwaya in southwestern Cameroon, where the incident took place, said the attack happened early on Friday when hundreds of armed Fulani herdsmen crossed the border from Taraba State in Nigeria to attack a military post. He said it was a retaliation after Cameroonian soldiers killed several herdsmen the day before. Agua Linus, traditional ruler of Bakinjo, said the attackers also burnt down his home. And for more on this, we're joined by a security analyst as well as executive director, Elixir Trust Foundation, and that's Emmanuel Ikole. Good afternoon. Glad to have you join me on the news.
Good afternoon. Pleasure to be with you today.
All right. Let me start by asking you, what are the key security challenges in regions with porous borders, such as the one between Cameroon and Nigeria, that make it easy for government to cross between countries?
There have been challenges when you want to look at issues or challenges relating to security. You also pay attention to other issues like lack of employment. We pay attention to issues like the poverty rate in such areas. So a lot of persons are without jobs in these various places, be it Taraba, be it around Benue, that have borders with Cameroon. And also within Cameroon, also there, currently in Nigeria, also we have refugees that are currently in Benue State and also in Cross River. So because of still insecurity issues and also crisis between Francophone and Anglophone speaking persons in Cameroon. So these persons some of them are currently in Nigeria and they have been there since 2018. This is about six to 7 years. They are still there till date. These issues that led to the crisis of them being in Nigeria have not been resolved. That is there. There have still been that issue of some persons not being comfortable, not being part of Nigeria again. Those issues are still lingering. And then also we have up to 16 to 20 IDP camps in Benue State as a result of insecurity caused by herdsmen. It has not been resolved. Those persons are still in camp to date. Nothing has been done to it. And these persons' headers still come in and go out as they will, despite it having barracks in these locations, particularly in Benue. So these issues are lingering there. And as long as the government is not paying attention to it, and even security chiefs are not taking the mantle to address these concerns, then issues like this will become a norm, because gradually it's become a common thing in the country that we face crisis every day. And it's no longer news again, it's common. So it happens today, people just listen to it. It's no longer scary because people are used to hearing this type of bad news.
Now,
and it's not a bad situation currently
just to build
as the so-called giant of Africa.
If I may, Mr. Ikule, just to build up on your line of thought, talking about cross-border movement, when it comes to international terrorist organizations such as Boko Haram or even ISWAP, do you think they have a role to play in utilizing cross-border movement to conduct such operations like this? And what could be their operational strategy, in this region?
For a country like ours that have been part of ECOMOG in trying to control things and control issues of insecurity around West Africa, it should have been a thing that would plan ahead, not waiting for criminals to plan ahead before us, not waiting to be reactionary to issues, but trying to be more proactive in addressing concerns as much as cross-border criminal crimes. But it has so happened that over time we have failed to audit the security architecture. We have failed to also audit and carry out intensive fight against ending criminality. We have encouraged it because people that have been arrested around being part of Boko Haram and the rest have never been punished. Anybody can quote me, they have never been punished. As long as there's no punishment for criminality, it's encouraged. As long as then, if you go to Cameroon, they also have leaders that also have questionable character, similar to Nigeria. We are going to Niger or Chad. These are borders that have been porous over time. And gradually, these criminals have noticed this and have come to stay there. In Sokoto and thereabout, they are still collecting rent currently in Nigeria. So if these issues are happening over and over again and you are not addressing it, you are not even fighting it, in a whole month, you hear one time that the military will go and have carried out an operation, and then the next, they wait again for the next how many months. These have been lingering for years. Is this too much for the military to handle once? With corresponding to the trillions that we give that is being awarded to them yearly? What happens to inter-border synergy between law enforcement officers within Nigeria, between Cameroon, Niger, and then Chad? What happens to working together to address these concerns? So other countries sometimes are even willing to even work, but Nigeria over time, because a lot of persons, traditional rulers, have hands in this criminality and they are benefiting from it. Even law enforcement officers in Nigeria as well as other countries who are benefiting from these crimes happening. That is why they don't want to address it. And that is why even when these criminals are arrested, they are freed.
I know you talked about the need for a proactive, measure.
And as long as we don't come together, work together in synergy to address this concerns, you may address it in your own country, but as long as the border is still porous, the criminals in other countries will still enter into yours.
I know you touched on the need for a proactive measure in tackling cases of crimes and criminalities like this, but what should be the response now of the military in Cameroon in a case whereby soldiers are killed by armed groups, across the borders?
The first thing is, look at the situation of Hamas in Palestine and in Israel, where certain criminals came from one country to attack another country, and then it has become something else. But if you look at the case of Nigeria, many African countries over years have been looking at Nigeria as a big brother country that we have failed to actually stand on. We have not shown them that, yes, we are capable of addressing anything. And this has gradually slipped into insecurity issues in the country. And for a case like this, where military personnel have been killed in another country, the onus now is on Nigeria to show that it's capable of doing the needful, fishing out those persons, those culprits that actually did this, and making them face the wrath of the law. That will at least calm nerves of the security agencies in Cameroon. But if it fails to do this and consistently armed groups are coming through Nigeria to attack them, and particularly the military, it means the Nigerian government is in support of it. So those are the things at the level of international security. You are looking at capability. If you say you are a sovereign country, it means you are capable in addressing your issues by yourself. When you cannot, at least you can also be able to get pay for services, be it machineries, be it expertise from foreign countries with the capacity to come and train you so that you can be able to also address your concerns in your own country. And situations like this, when you are failing, it means you have lacked the capacity. And then it means because of your failure to address concerns within your countries, going out to affect other countries, it becomes a more like problem where those two countries will start fighting themselves. Because if Nigeria fails to address this, or shuts down those borders around that side, and also fish out those persons responsible for these killings, there may also be reprisal attacks where Cameroon soldiers will also start following or fighting these people entering into our borders. And it's not something that we really want to happen. But we have to show that we are to address issues.
All right, thank you so much indeed for your perspective on the news. Emmanuel Ikule, security analyst as well as executive director for Elixir Trust Foundation. Many thanks indeed for your insights.